Hi, I'm glad you're here because I still remember the first time I hit play on the LS50 Wireless II. It wasn't just sound, it was a moment. This isn't for people who settle for flat, boxed-in audio anymore. This is for you, the kind of person who notices texture, detail, and when your gear stops keeping up with what you want from music and movies. Before you go any further, take a second to check the current price and stock so you know what's available right now. You knew it was time to upgrade when your old speakers started sounding thin, when vocals felt distant and bass felt like an afterthought. You weren't craving louder. You were craving clarity, depth, and presence. That's when you realize you've outgrown the compromise phase. The first moment I lived with these speakers, everything felt right. There was no harshness, no muddiness. Voices stayed alive, instruments had space to breathe, and low end had authority without boominess. You stop adjusting settings and start listening, really listening. Music feels like it's happening in the room with you, not behind a barrier. Picture this: slow evenings where your favorite albums finally reveal nuances you never heard before. Weekend movie sessions where soundscapes don't just play, they engulf you. Even background listening while you work feels intentional instead of just noise. That's not a numbers game. That's the difference between hearing and feeling sound that's been crafted right. And it's not about specs you read somewhere. You don't think, oh, it has this many watts. You feel the balance: crisp highs without fatigue, warm mids without dullness, bass that's tight and controlled. That emotional presence is what makes you stop noticing tech and start noticing sound again. If you're even considering waiting for a price drop or hoping it'll sit in stock forever, don't. These speakers catch eyes for a reason, and hesitation usually means circling back with regret later. Maybe you're curious if wireless really matters or if bookshelf speakers can fill your space. With lesser gear, that doubt has teeth. With these you hear cohesion, streaming over Wi-Fi feels smooth, Bluetooth doesn't drop out, and every source feels right at home. The surprise benefit? They don't just sound good for small stuff, they scale with what you throw at them. You feel transparency that keeps you listening longer. You feel bass that's controlled, not forced. You feel every note with intention. You feel presence instead of fatigue. You feel pride knowing you chose something that lasts. It's not the tiniest, cheapest audio you'll find. It's not just a plug-and-forget gadget. At some point you stop comparing every spec sheet and pick the one you already wanted. Every time you consider something weaker, your mind circles right back here. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you delay and end up wishing you made sooner. If you're ready to stop settling for mediocre sound and finally experience your audio the way it was meant to be heard, check the current price and stock right now and decide before it slips away.